As someone who thinks that Democrats are better for the country, that's what I think. I'm trying my best. I feel like people like her actively hurt their movement. If she's our representative, please get her off TV. Stop being our representative. You are hurting the effort to have an efficient, well-run government.
Oh,
I disagree. You guys just haven't pushed the trans thing hard enough. You have to just go for it. White people bad, trans good.
Did you see AOC?
Well, that's what I was saying. Replace her with a non-cis person. I don't know what a non-cis person is called, but
you do.
Is it
a trans?
Is it just bi or trans? I don't know. Whatever. Get that cis woman off my TV.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's 2024. We're done pretending any of this shit's real. Moving on.
I saw AOC took the pronouns out of her Twitter bio. I was like,
I saw that too. I love it. I love it. Drop that shit. And AOC needs to stop saying Latinx. She stopped saying woke. Like, get rid of all of it. It's done.
Yeah. It'll
be fun to watch this enormous schism in the Democratic Party occur over the next few years.
I look forward to seeing this cabinet take place. I want to see what they do. I want to see if anything happens or if nothing at all. What they say is going to happen is like right away. Matt Gaetz is installed. He starts tearing shit down. Vivek and Elon are installed. They start tearing shit down. Education department's torn up. FDA is riddled. EPA is taken out of existence. ATF and FBI and CIA are investigated.
No more free lunches. We're cutting costs.
I'm trying to look at all this stuff through the most rose-colored glasses possible. I'm like, Rubio, bit of a hawk, but at least he's like a normal person. Not going to get upset about that. I don't love that they have like a vaccine denier who thinks fluoride makes children gay in charge of the FDA. That's not my favorite.
Ask questions.
I don't love that they have a pedophile as the new attorney general.
Technically a hepaphile. Or whatever.
That would be somebody like fucks lizards.
That lady of the night was 17 and she got what she was looking for.
I guess so. Traffic.
And look, who better to know whether what he did was illegal or not than the attorney general?
I mean, you're making good points. And then Tulsi Gabbard, isn't she in charge of like defense or something? And she just echoes Russian talking points all the time. They're always taking her and putting her on like Russian Times TV to sort of, say this is like, they love what she has to say. I'm not saying she's a paid agent like half of the internet does. I don't know that, but I do know she says things that the paid agents are said, maybe voluntarily.
That's all.
Yeah, she served
26 years, right?
So I feel like Trump's making some yucky choices, but the Elon Vivek thing, my mind is open. Like there is a lot of waste in government. Elon in particular has shown to be good at cutting waste. So let's see what he's got.
Like if you remember the Twitter thing where he took over Twitter, he was like openly posting messages that like correspondence he was having with like high up administrators in Twitter. And these people were like trying to foment a bit of a coup as it was happening, where they're like, Elon, you don't understand that we need this, that, the other thing, and this is essential, and we need to have this giant safety administrative trust board so that when government officials do contact us about removing content, we can, make the steps necessary to do. And Elon just responded like, "What did you get done this week?" He was like, "What did you get done this week?" And if you've met like a lot of government employee style people, like what he's said before, and I echo and agree, like there is no more horrifying question to most government workers than someone about to hold them accountable who asks the question, "What did you do this week?" Because most of them don't do shit. There's a small minority that are working their fucking fingers to the bone to keep shit moving, and they're surrounded by like basically a jobs program of people. Like a TSA equivalent of a jobs program, where it's like, oh, we need 70 agents at the St. Louis airport. Do we? We need 70 agents all the time. We need more agents than we do like people going through security. We have 15 people standing off to the side.
You want them to be outnumbered?
I agree with Taylor.
The front line of safety.
There's probably too many employees, which I think was the core of what you were saying. But I think there's also overpaying for subcontractors.
Sure.
And I'd like to look at that really hard as well.
Yeah, there's so much waste to be cut. Like I don't see how you could see that,
I think we should sell Puerto Rico
like that. Like even if you're the biggest Trump hater, if they're like, hey, for once, instead of the government deciding to print money to handle things or to increase taxes. Like, let's do how about a little audit? Let's take a little peek. When's the last time the Pentagon misplaced $1 trillion? Oh, recently? Again? Or like the amount of money, the amount of waste, we got to chop it out. Hopefully they actually get it done. We'll see. But then there's also like, I see people who go too far on that side where they like misattribute where the waste is mostly going, where they'll be like, they spent $100,000 to research beetle mating habits in the Midwest in winter or in spring or whatever. And it's like, yeah, like play it forward though. Like the impetus of that is trying to like do predictive crop evaluations and things like that probably does pay off in dividends and it's pretty cheap. The real waste is not there. It's military, industrial. It's welfare.
You and I agree on a lot in these last couple minutes. I remember there was one where they studied cow farts. That was the thing I was always hearing about like 20 years ago. Turns out, like the methane production in cows is not trivial. Like it is a noteworthy addition to carbon or methane.
Global warming.
Methane, which apparently is so much worse than carbon. I don't understand the science.
Worse.
But yeah, the amount of methane cows produce is material, and it wasn't a wasted study.
It's the belches more than the farts.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of the rumination.
I've heard that before. I don't know much about it. But
that makes sense.
In any case, yeah. So some stuff that they paint as ridiculous and stupid maybe isn't so stupid, but some stuff
it could be worded to make it sound outrageous. Like the one I heard recently was something about studying Russian cats, and I was like, why are we studying Russian kitty cats? Like is that what you mean? Okay. Like kitty cats, Russian ones? Why? Sure. But they don't tell you the whole thing, and it probably. I don't know. I don't know why we're studying Russian cats, but there might be a good reason.
There are ones that are like very clear, either just retarded spending or money laundering, where it's like, we paid $3 million for analyzing interpretive dance in Croatia from an intersectional perspective. Oh, someone's laundering money. Okay, that's what's happening here. Like, okay, well, let's shut that down. No more of this. No more free lunches. Everybody else is paying taxes. Everybody's fucking sick of it. How about we get something for it?
There are people on the blue side who can't see any possible goodness coming out of the Trump administration, and I'm not that guy.
Didn't he say he wanted to cap interest rates on credit cards to 10%, and him and Bernie are going to work on that together?
I heard Bernie say that. I didn't know he had a partner in it.
I assume that Bernie
floated that.
Saw Trump as his partner based on something Trump had said. Because
I like that about Bernie. One of my criticisms of Bernie, like, for example, he didn't support Kamala for months because she didn't pass his purity test of just how liberal she was supposed to be. And the Bernie Sanders purity test is a pretty fucking difficult test. And it's like, dude, she's trying to win an election. You're going to get Trump with this horse shit, which we did. But now he's going the other way, working with Trump. And I'd rather have seen that the whole way through. Like, if you can find an issue you agree on, then get something done.
Yeah, for sure.
I genuinely think they should have done Joe Rogan. I think that might have mattered. I think the numbers would have been different. I don't know that she would have won from doing Rogan. If she did Rogan and did well,
Harris would have been a catastrophe on Joe Rogan.
Maybe not. We don't know. But like, I genuinely don't know her.
She was flubbing like softball interviews.
I know that. Well, she's put in a weird spot. I'm not sure how I would answer some of the questions where they ask you about, okay, you've been the vice president for 4 years. You've got all these ideas. You ever float those to your boss? Oh, so why hasn't he implemented them? Does he not take you serious, or does he not think they're feasible? Oh, well, I didn't think. I wanted to talk about the summer fashion here. What are you doing to me?
I would have liked to have seen her on Rogan. I've seen other politicians. Andrew Yang is the one I have in my head, who I didn't really agree with. He had this universal basic income thing. And then when you saw him have enough time to really explain where the money came from and why he thinks it's a good idea, it was a whole lot better than his 90-second pitch. And, so it's like, oh, you give people a nice long form platform to explain what they're up to. And that's great. I hope next election cycle, a lot of people do that.
They'll have to.
Bernie was the first guy. And my favorite thing that's being pointed out, it was that picture of like Donald Trump, Tulsi Gabbard, RFK, and Elon. And it says, they were all Democrats 8 years ago. like you can, because the thing coming from the left right now is like, we need a bro whisperer. We've got to create our own Joe Rogan. And it's like, you had your own Joe Rogan. It was Joe Rogan.
Like, yeah, you have all these media apparatuses and you just have squandered them by engaging in promoting niche issues that are alienating to the public instead of things that are important.
Those of us that have been watching Joe Rogan for 8 years or so know that like it's pretty liberal, and he's come toward the right over the years, but he kind of got pushed in that direction by some of the more extremes on the left, I feel like.
For sure.
And now
a lot of left-leaning people have moved right specifically because of the censorship thing.
I feel like there's this thing from the left where when they come into like blue class communities or when they court those voters, they almost court them like a missionary coming to some impoverished nation and showing you the way. Like, oh, hey there, Midwesterner. Didn't you know you're voting against your own best interest? Of course you didn't. Well, let me show you the light. Come with me, little guy. It almost feels like you're being talked down to from the left, and the right is just like, bro, don't you want to come party? Like, the right just seems like so much more fun and friendly now. And I see people wearing those goddamn MAGA hats. You won't get me to wear one because it's like when I see one, I get a very visceral sort of thought process that comes to me about that person. Not every Trump supporter wears a MAGA hat. If you're wearing a MAGA hat, you're making a statement about a few things about yourself. If you're out in public wearing that thing, you might be an asshole.
To me, it says "fuck your feelings," right?
Yeah,
that's what they're telling you. Fuck you, I just won. And I'm like, all right, you did just win. I'm not denying that. But I think that I'm reading into some things about you that are uncool.
Yeah, I can't help it, but I do feel that way about that hat. But I see people wearing it now. I see TikTok dances of people doing the Trump dance. And I see like young people at universities doing the Trump dance and wearing Trump wigs and wearing MAGA hats. And I'd never seen that shit before. It's almost like it became a little bit cooler to be a Trump supporter.
Oh, it absolutely like the like school marm scolding tone the left has had for the past 10 years is unbelievably off-putting to people.
They've switched places to some extent. It used to be the Republicans, this is like 20 years ago, 25 years ago, were the ones who were kind of the college-educated minority. And now that's the Democrats. Now they're the educated ones who have lost the majority of, non-college grads.
Like the working class is moving
to the right. Yeah. For sure. We'll see if the Republicans keep the working class post-Trump, because I think he's uniquely attractive to a lot of people. And when he goes out and like, I don't know, I'll make it up, Paul Ryan, JD Vance, or someone else from the right, Mike Johnson steps up, I don't know if they're going to get the union worker in the same way that Trump did.
If they pivot back to like traditional neocon bullshit, the Republicans will get blown the fuck out. Like that's done. Like most of these Republicans, even the establishment ones, are either retiring like McConnell or they're kind of like Rubio, where they're like, all right, the writing is on the fucking wall. No one is engaged by our neocon horse shit anymore. We got to go to the MAGA team if we want to stay relevant and keep winning. But you're right. It's going to be a difficult transition away from Trump unless someone like Vance can really, seize that mantle over the next 4 years.
Yeah, we'll see.